That needs to be a square all night. If you accidentally hit it, it's okay. Just hit it again. You'll have 2, 3, 4 videos. It's perfectly fine.
Right.
All right, so the way I have it set up is it's going to fluctuate based on what's inside the screen right now.
Right.
It's going to calibrate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I move it up to this blue, look at all that blue up there.
Right.
All that's going to change here in a second.
Right.
Because it's going to fluctuate based on what's actually in the air. Well, maybe we should actually go out this way. Because once you start getting... Really? It's not going to change at all? Normally, like, the whole screen will start to blend.
Right.
As you can start to see it move.
Right, right.
Now, if you notice, like, there's little white dots and lines back there, and there's the outline of the car.
Right.
Like, that's what I was talking about with the solid objects. So
right.
if you, even the smallest little dot, pointed out, because I'm going to watch all these videos and tell you, hey, you need to watch it 24 minutes and 3 seconds and see what we actually captured.
Right, right.
Now the center obviously is gauging wherever that dot is touching. So we know we have blue up here, so you just move your camera up here to kind of get that temperature to see why it's blue versus the other spot you were just in. Sorry, my hand was right in the way. So you just move the camera, and now it's going to gauge where the cars are. See how they went up to 80 degrees?
Right.
Because the cars are warmer than the ground.
Right.
So, this is again, we're still learning more and more about this guy.
Right.
So it's just a matter of, I mean, I can put my hand in front and you can see the difference.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
No,
that for you. But you can see how everything behind it turned blue.
Right, right.
And then when I take my hand away, it'll start to fluctuate back.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I'm going to hand this off to you.
Okay.
Again, treat it just like a cell phone.
Okay.
All right, so we start here on purpose because this place is haunted. This place used to be a bar several weeks ago, but he picked up and moved to Florida. So
is that where he went?
Yeah, Cane Rum Bar.
Food, we were gonna. Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it was actually, this place was hopping every night. Like, I normally start over around the corner to stay away from the noise, from all the loud music and whatever.
Wow.
But this place used to be called Big John's back in the 70s, 1970s.
Okay.
So Big John was a football player. I don't know what team.
Right.
I'm not a sports guy,
Right,
obviously.
right.
But he would actually sit in the back of the bar, and we have the Citadel nearby. So the cadets from the Citadel would come down and grab a drink or whatever after they were done training. And Big John would nod off to the bartender whether they were of age or not, because Big John knew everybody.
Right.
Well, one night he pissed 2 guys off and said, cut them off. They're not of age. Good. Police are patrolling. Good. So the 2 guys get mad. They come back the next night, and they steal the register from the front of the building. Big John pulls out his .45 and takes one out.
Right.
The bullet hole is still in the front of the building.
Wow.
It said that Big John's ghost will haunt the place. Paul used to talk to him on a nightly basis whenever he closed down. Big John, how did I do today? And he'd hear little rumblings and things like that. The other thing here, too, is, I mean, there's people living above, but there's the mantling you see here on the almost like a chair rail.
Right.
We had a big earthquake here in Charleston in 1886.
Right.
This was allegedly where the first death occurred.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a piece of the mantling broke off from the earthquake and struck somebody in the head. His ghost is said to have been seen in the front of like on the street.
Right.
But I haven't had any kind of occurrence with that. Now, as far as Big John and the bullet hole and whatnot, I did get some EMFs. You have to remember that thermal imaging cannot go through glass.
Okay. All right. Well,
unfortunately. I watched a ton of videos. It was just yesterday. Like, I spent most of my time just studying the thermal imaging camera so I can learn more about it and find out it doesn't look through glass.
Okay.
So some of the places I was actually stopping to, hey, can you film this for me just so I can see?
Right.
We're not seeing through it.
Right.
So whatever we caught on the outside was on the outside of the glass,
Gotcha.
in front of it.
Right.
But anyway, I did get some EMF when this bar was open. There was a table that used to sit right inside this window, and it was the only place I'd ever get it, and it was only every once in a while. So I did test it near the lighting and the wiring that was nearby, and it was literally a strong signal right on top of the table, but not underneath it. It was the weirdest thing ever.
That's why you want this place.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want it because of Big John.
Right.
Not to mention, like I said, I would rent out the top as like a haunted hotel, but this entire kit would be sitting in there,
Right.
and it would be like an hour teach and train. Let's kind of show you guys what to look for when doing your ghost tour tonight and that. And I would just let them be,
Right.
Like it would be part of the package. But
Right.
that's a dream.
Right.
So anyway, we're actually any comments? Oh, actually, I start with that story only because I forgot all the cool stuff on my apps, but. I start with that because it is said that anybody that sits in the front of the bar actually gets a little disoriented, dizzy, not feeling well.
Right.
I bring that up because if the paranormal activity that we're going to encounter tonight is a little too much, you need to speak up.
Right.
I mean, obviously, it's a very small group. Just speak up, please. I know how it's going to affect me.
Right.
If I say we need to go now,
Right.
it's going to be we need to go now.
Right.
So I forgot to show you. I'm going to use a couple of apps on my phone. So first one I'm going to use is called Ghost Detector. This is where you're going to get your list of words. It's a spirit box just like this, but it's digital. So it saves the words for us. It isn't.
cool.
This is from last night's tour, so I'm going to clear this out. You can just see how many words we actually got through.
Right.
So we're going to erase that, and it's going to start over for you guys. Now, I will tell you 80% of this is bullshit. It's
Right.
meant to be a game and a hoax.
Right.
But the other 20% will be relevant to what we're going to go through tonight.
Right.
And it's up to us to put those clues together.
Right.
You might actually, if you have somebody that's passed on and it comes up with the name Steve, and you're like, oh my God, Steve just passed away last year.
Right.
And then it might get something, oh, he was diabetic. It just said diabetes. You know, that happens all the time.
Right.
So don't tell me if you know anybody that's recently passed or anybody that has passed, because we all have people that's passed.
Right.
But that's one gadget I'm going to use. The other one is the reverse spirit box. So this one makes the whole tour interesting. It's going to take those FM radio stations and it's going to play them backwards. So whatever comes up forward is somebody actually coming through and speaking to us. It's super creepy. It kind of adds a little bit of mood to the tour.
Right.
And I actually have gotten quite a bit of response out of this.
Right.
So let me turn it on. You're going to hear crows at the beginning. It's just a stupid intro that they do to start it up.
Right.
So it's going to sound like complete gibberish.
Right.
So until I start asking questions, the open air, you're going to be listening to your spirit box. I'm obviously going to be listening to this, but the cool thing is I can run both of these at the same time. So I can get the words and I can listen to the other app I just showed you.
Right.
So I literally leave it running all night, but I turn it down because the chirping and the static and all that extra stuff kind of gets in the way. Now, with the audio, usually when I'm going through a session, I will hold this as close to the audio as possible, and you can still hear me speak.
Okay.
So you can see what questions I'm asking and those kind of things.
Right.
So, there I got the word exploit. I'm going to tell some stories tonight, aren't
There
I?
you go. There you go.
But again, I will try to attach it to something. Otherwise, I'm just going to debunk it and say this is BS. If it says, you know, I don't know, Ohio or something like that, and none of us are from Ohio, but I am.
Right.
We know it's nothing.
Right.
So, all right, we're actually going to walk this way. So your camera, again, just like you're doing, we're going to keep it horizontal all night and keep it faced out so you guys actually have something to watch later.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Got it.
Yeah.
I was worried that the preacher down there was going to get in my way.
That's it.
He hasn't moved all day.
Well, there was two of them. I heard a woman, too.
Yeah, she's with him.
Why is it yellow over this one side, on like one corner?
That's her finger. The
Here.
camera is on this side.
Ah. Okay. There you go. Oh, that's why. All right. Good. I was like, what is that?
Yep, teaching train. What we're all about. Oh, so the red grid box, too. Man, I got too much stuff.
Don't hurt yourself.
So the red grid box. So you got to imagine a 3D printer. If I actually had this type of image, this
Right.
is what they would use for a 3D printer.
Right.
So it's going to spread pretty far. Put like older batteries in it, so it might not be able to go as far.
Right.
To like really get it going. But you can set this up in a room and just literally, it's got a click button. You don't have to hold it. It's great for videos. So
Right.
I'm going to be playing. Oh, sorry. I'm going to be playing with that, throughout the night.
Right.
So Crew Cafe is haunted. They have actually asked me to come through and do a full walkthrough, a full investigation. Hopefully that comes this summer. I was supposed to do it in the spring, but obvious. I walked through it quickly with an EMF detector only, this one, and I did get a reading from the upstairs bathroom. However, there was a suicide that happened there. Kind of makes things a little bit darker sometimes.
Right.
And it was a slave home. Obviously, it's been expanded because it's 2 stories.
Right.
And any kind of title and deed and any kind of mishappenings from a slave home are really hard to find through, you can imagine.
Right.
Slave homes do not have addresses.
Right.
So
Right.
it's really difficult. Like I've been digging and digging and digging. I mean, I got so many research projects I'm working on, but it's been really tough.
Yeah.
Revolutionary War. See the stop sign down there? So
Yep.
we're really close to the water, but you have to remember, not all this land was here for
Right,
Charleston. It's all man-made, built out.
Right.
So these were warps, basically right where that warehouse is. Revolutionary warship against us.
Wow. Oh,
shoots
you're back
a-
that far.
Shot a cannon, and that's where it landed, down there at the stop sign.
No way.
tragedy, no deaths, but just something cool about Charleston.
Yeah.
That's something like leadership. So we're actually going to come into this lot, and this lot is a little crazy as you look at your EMF already. So your EMF is something you're going to have to watch all night. Now, sometimes it'll start when I'm back there on the street with the group, but we're probably a good 15 feet in, maybe 20. I don't have a story here. The crazy thing is, like, this is the red barn where they keep the horses for the carriage routes.
Right.
Right? So it's the way it's used today, but it's also the same red barn that they use for the horses that deliver the milk to Charleston.
Okay.
So it kind of gives you an age.
Right.
So we're looking at, what, 1820 to 1840s,
Right.
roughly. So almost 200 years old. And usually when I have the lasers out, I have to tell everybody, don't shoot the lasers in the holes or spook the horses.
Horses,
We've done it
yeah.
one night.
Right.
And it was like, oh.
Yeah.
But this is I got the word quiet. Yes, it is quiet. So
Yeah.
I will tell you that some nights,
Yeah.
the data that comes through when I start looking at it as a whole is
Yeah.
all related to the protests and riots. So, like, it's angering the spirit.
Okay.
So even my friendlies are kind of like, what's going on? You know,
Right.
that like you can see the data. And you'll be able to scroll down after you guys, because it's all, like, I put every month on one page. So you can scroll down and look at everybody else's evidence and watch all their videos and all that stuff.
Right.
And you're going to see my quick analysis of, like, this is because of the protest yesterday. This is from the riot the night before. You know,
Right.
you're going to be able to see, like, what words came through.
Right.
But we're going to explore this a little bit and kind of see what I can get out of my spirit box. This is a great place for your spirit box as well. Now, what's been happening is I've been asking questions 10, 15, 20 feet away, and the answers will come through here. That's why I kind of use all these gadgets, so that way they can communicate however they want to.
Right. Right.
I will also, anytime I get a word on here, I'll interrupt my story and just say, we got the word, whatever it is.
Okay.
If you see something before I do, because if I have it out like this and I'm telling you guys about Philadelphia Alley and you see that it comes up with Alley, please stop me and say, point at the phone or do something.
Right.
and
Right.
interrupt me. I'm cool.
You got better eyes than that because I can't see the colors. I'm real bad with colors.
So, a couple nights ago, we had a Wyatt that was speaking to us.
Right.
And then the last night, might have been Brad. It was 2 nights ago. Again, I've been working every night, and it's hard to keep track. This place, I get so many different types of vibes out of here.
Right.
I'll get different people. I'll get some, like one night I actually had to rush people out of here. Like, we gotta go. Like, this is not good.
Right.
Like,
Right.
we just had a very malevolent, pissed
Right.
off spirit. And I was
Right.
like, we're not playing with this. Good
Right.
night, goodbye, we walked out.
Right.
Like, it was that simple.
Right.
Got the word poet. That's what I was sign. We were just talking about Byron,
Yeah. Yeah.
who is deceased.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. Did I run?
All right, so if we actually have somebody here with us, can you give us a name? I will stay away from yes and no questions as much as I possibly can. Device.
Okay.
Which device do you want to speak to tonight? Nick. It's literally just said my name plain as day.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's Nick again. There's other places that do that too. Create. So what am I creating? So just to give you a gist of this app, the blue one,
Yeah.
if this was sitting on my table at home, which is not haunted,
Right.
it would give me a word every 3 to 5 minutes.
Right.
And I've had it running for hours, and it's literally like every 3 to 5 minutes. When we're in an active place, it's going to keep giving us words.
Right.
Like a couple per minute, every other minute. So it's going to keep going.
Right.
Again, most of it's going to be bullshit.
Right.
But like we've got a connection already.
Yeah.
Like you're not lighting up like it normally does here.
Yeah.
But take a listen to your spirit box. Walk around a little bit. Like just stay within the lot. Let's see what you can capture, and let's see what I can get out of this guy.
So you have to hit a button.
Yeah, you hit the button on the back of the speaker. He's got like that. Alright, so obviously you know who I am. Can you tell me who you are?
Oh, stop right there. It's flashing. Thank you. Yeah, no, no. Anything there?
Talk to me.
What do you say?
It's Wyatt or Brad.
Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I want to follow you. Don't go.
Something's been said. What? Can you hear it? What are you
Barely.
saying?
You can come and talk device that's in Dana's hand. You can show up in Juan's camera.
Hearing something, but nothing.
Sometimes it's very difficult to hear.
Yeah, it is.
Who's the poet?
Lighting up.
I see that. So this is probably a good place for you to start to film in case something tries to manifest. Because obviously something is pretty much touching that device right now.
Right.
And this thing is talking a lot. And guys, I'm not gonna make anything up for you. If I don't know what something is, or
Right.
you know, I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. I'm just gonna flat out tell you.
Right, right.
I'm not Zach Bagans, that's for sure.
He has a little bit more equipment and a little bit more funds, and he goes everywhere.
Well, he also makes a lot of stuff up.
Yeah,
the TV show going.
Yeah, that's you can tell.
I got the word try. So I don't know if try and create are two different things,
Right.
or if it's one sentence. But I'm trying to get a name. I need a name.
Hey, Dana, hold on. I want to listen to it. What's your name? What do you say?
Something you.
Say, what is it?
What?
Put your earphone next to it.
Repeat.
Okay, so why don't you try talking to Dana's device?
It's saying something, but I can't understand what it's saying on hers.
Another reason why I like to walk away is because I don't want you to get a suggestive thought.
Okay.
If I say, who's the poet, and then all of a sudden, I heard me, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
I got the word correlation.
Okay.
Like, we should be correlating a little bit more is what they were telling us.
Right.
You seeing any blue moving around?
Nothing.
I mean, you're doing a great job with the slow movements. Like,
Yeah.
that's key. Because the nice thing is I upload that to YouTube, so I can watch it on my TV,
Right.
and then I just put the YouTube, video on the page.
But I'm also watching you, watching her,
Uh-huh.
and going back and forth.
Down. Down where? We should get some pretty good activity up here.
Right
like
here.
Up in the corner, but yeah, we don't have anything around us that can actually make that thing go off like that. Desperately. Not usually a good sign.
Desperately.
Alright, so since you don't want to tell us your name, I'm going to move us along. I heard my name again earlier,
Yeah, I heard it twice.
and I don't know what that gurgling sound that just came through was. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that. I recognize what might be a different sound.
Yeah, no, it keeps going off.
And this is a sewer line underneath us. There's no ley lines.
Okay.
I've had people accuse me of like rigging the equipment and having stuff on me to make it go off. I'm like,
Right.
fuck them away from me. How does that work? in like winter months, like I'll take off my jacket, you know, and prove to somebody there's nothing in it.
Right, right.
Crazy. All right, we're gonna move along. Can you say goodbye? How about good night?
I have to.
What's that?
Tourism.
Tourism, that's, yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of good words that just came out of this whole spot. Again, we're gonna leave to move on. I'll see you again tomorrow if you're gonna be here. Can you say good night? Gender. Okay. I'm saying goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. I normally wait for a goodbye back.
Right.
Alright, so just another little bit of history. That's Rafer's Alley. That's one of the, I think we have 12 alleys total here in Charleston. I
Right.
don't have any activity there.
Right.
So I don't have any horror stories, no crazy whatever.
Right.
Word music as soon as your phone rang.
What did it say?
It said music.
Music. That's weird.
Remember, sometimes we're dealing with old ghosts that
Right.
don't know what those sounds are. Oh, watch step.
Yeah.
Alright, so this particular parking lot, and I know it seems like I'm taking you guys just to parking lots.
No.
but
That's
This
cool.
is, if I were to have a grand finale, this would be it.
Oh,
This
yeah?
is the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion site.
Okay.
This is where they lived. So Charles and his son Charles Coatsworth were signers of the Constitution.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a big deal for Charleston. But my story comes from Eliza.
Right.
Eliza loves when I tell her story. She talks to me directly, tells me her name, tells me about her marriage, all kinds of stuff out of here.
Right.
So, but Eliza, she's actually gonna probably try to come through there too. She married Charles to stay here in the United States. She was from England. Her dad was sick. He wanted her home. She didn't want to go.
Right.
So she married Charles to stay here. Big age difference between them.
Right.
But anyway, he got better. They made amends. Dad starts sending over some plants because Eliza's a botanist.
Right.
She loves to plant and garden and all those kinds of things.
Right.
So one of the things that he sent her was the indigo plant, which is a major cash crop for Charleston. Reason for that is because the garden started right here where we're standing, in line with the blue dumpster, and the slave homes would have been in the back and the mansion in the front.
Okay.
So she started the indigo plants here.
Right.
When the rice plantations went to hell in a handbasket. We
Okay.
needed another cash crop. Now,
Right.
she wasn't the only one that just planted it. She was the businesswoman that sold it overseas, which is what made it successful. Now, indigo actually gives us blue dye, which makes your blue jeans blue.
Right.
Okay? A lot of people don't know that little tidbit of fact.
Right,
They get
right,
a lot
no,
of
no,
kids
I-
confused, like, what the heck's indigo? It's blue dye.
Right.
Right. But they don't teach that stuff in school.
No, they don't.
So, I got the word news. That means I should be watching the news later.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Uh-huh.
Eliza, again, lots of stuff comes out of here. There's 5 kids. Thomas, Charles, George, Harriet, I know is the one female, but I get all kinds of names out of this. We get all kinds of words out of there. You might actually even want to get it a little closer to your ear, even though, just because we're on a busier street.
Right. Yeah. So you can be able to hear it a little better.
Another crazy little fact about this place is that light that's blinking,
Yeah.
it doesn't always blink, and it's not always the same rhythm.
Really?
It will go in sync with whatever your EMF is doing. Just to kind of show you the energy that comes out of this place.
Right.
The thing that sucks about this site is they're not going to do an archaeological dig in the next year,
Right.
and then they're going to put a commercial hotel on top of it. So we're
Really?
not going to get the artifacts that would have been here.
Right.
And I'm going to have to find a new hotspot for my tours.
Right.
I might
Right.
get stuff around the edge. Got the word anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, again, I'm going to turn up my reverse spirit box because, again, I get a lot of stuff out of her from here.
Right.
And she's familiar with me. She calls me out by name.
Right.
Just like we did over there. That was the first time for over there, so that'll be interesting.
Right.
Did you catch what she said?
Probably somewhere, something.
But your EMF is going to go crazy in here, too. Wind pockets do happen in this location. So the corners we get like little wind funnels, which makes it colder.
Right.
So just kind of be wary of, it's colder over here.
Right.
It might be a wind pocket. I'll pull out the other gadget to verify.
Right.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
So let's explore here. Again, this is my major hotspot, this dead parking lot.
Wow.
I got the word shoes. We have had some issues with some homeless back in this area, so if you want to kind of just stay clear. The police have been monitoring it the past couple nights, I've noticed.
Right.
But, yeah, go ahead and hold it up like this. That way you can see eye to eye with the way the light's blinking. We've actually tested it with another tour where it was like 2 frames off.
Right.
Just because the energy is moving back and forth.
Right.
But yeah, nice slow sweeps in here just to see if we can actually capture any kind of cold spots at all, any kind of apparitions. We have had apparitions in here when this was a bar.
Right.
A bar called Molly Darcy's. It's obviously no longer here. Eliza, is that you? Eliza, I got some new folks here tonight. Educational. Yes, I try to educate people about you. Yes.
Yes.
Say hi to Nick. Already? Yes, already. I left the other lot already. I am a little early, but it's okay. We wanted to come visit you. So can you tell me what your favorite plant was? We've gotten the word jasmine whenever I've asked that question in the past.
Right.
Eliza, tell us about the plants you had here. So, last night, the name Olivia came up as we were walking over, and I've had that name several times between the 2 locations, so I started looking up Olivia and Eliza Pinckney to see if there's any relation.
Right.
Olivia was 100 years afterwards, but she was also a major plantation owner.
Okay.
So it
Was it the same place?
No.
Okay.
It was the, if you've seen the Middleton place,
No.
it's actually a little further inland, like West Ashley area.
Okay.
Like I've been diving in, and I got all the research on the computer. I just need to go through it and
Right.
see like why did she keep coming through here?
Right.
And it's not that they would have known each other
Right.
unless they know each other in the afterlife.
Right.
So because they were 2 plantation owners, they were 2 prominent women.
Right.
Like they could kind of be buddy up.
Right. We don't know.
So I'm actually going to ask about Olivia to see if we get any kind of response.
Right.
Eliza, is there an Olivia with you? An Olivia Middleton Blake?
I heard, what do you want?
What do you want?
That's what it sounded like.
Did you ask anything?
No.
It just came up that way. That's a lot of syllables for that to break over. And no, this is not the original wall, nor is that the original gate. This was all there, like Molly Darcy's put that up.
Right.
And then we have a couple parking lot companies in town that you pay, like, I don't even know what it is. It's ridiculous to park here.
Right. Yeah, that's why we traveled here by train, and then
Oh,
so we
nice.
just Uber,
Nice.
and we didn't have to worry about parking anywhere because I know how it was on the
Yeah.
on the other historic places we went to, and it was like $20 to $40 a day. It was crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, parking meters right now are free after 6.
Yeah.
I texted that to Dana earlier just because it's a nice thing to have if you're going to be out and about, and then you're going to come meet me later on. I didn't pay for my meter.
Right.
You know, the mayor wants the businesses to start getting business back. So
Right. Also, we have that in Orlando too. We have the after 6 free parking as well, but no overnight. So if they find your car overnight,
Yeah, I'm sure.
you get ticketed.
I got the word night.
Huh?
It just said the word overnight. Came up at the same time. All right. Eliza. Eliza, can you tell me who your husband was? What was your husband's name, Eliza?
So upset over hers.
Shift. So night shift.
Night shift?
Yes, I work the night shift. You guys know this.
What did it say? She's got a lot of, the readings here. What did it say?
This obviously would have been like the foyer.
It's showing us here.
We would actually, well, the funny thing is this is where the apparition was found in the front of the bar.
Okay.
And it was a woman in a blue dress, but they claimed because of the period of the dress that it was Eliza's aunt. It's not from the time period that Eliza was alive. So, and the funny thing is that she's not even buried here. So
Oh, really?
the main stories in the cemetery, everybody thinks I'm going to take you through a bunch of graveyards.
Right.
No. Do you want to hang out in the afterlife where you're buried, or do you want to go somewhere where that actually made you happy?
Right.
So that's why we visit these kind of places. I mean, we're going to go past the graveyard, but
Right.
just for some of the legends around town.
Right.
All right. Eliza, we need a little bit more. Where am I standing if this was your house? This is one of the few houses that did not have like that side piazza where the door opens up to the
Yes,
porch.
yeah. We were talking about that yesterday.
This was a very modern home for the time. We're
Right.
talking, 1750s, colonial period.
Right.
So this was kind of like all talked about that they didn't have a piazza and they actually faced the street.
I've got 72 degrees over there.
So I usually get excited about a 5 to 8 degree temperature drop.
Yeah. I mean, it just dropped from this. I mean, the whole time it's staying at 80, 79, 78.
Eliza, tell me what happened to your house. What destroyed your house?
What did it say, marriage?
Sounds like marriage.
It did sound like marriage.
Yeah.
What destroyed the physical home, Eliza? Yes, I heard your name, Eliza. Thank you for that. Eliza, yes. What destroyed your home, your physical home? What element tore it down? Come on, Eliza. You got several devices to talk to us to. You're going to get audio on the video as well.
Really?
Yeah. It's recording everything we're saying. It tells me to move. I got the word move.
Oh, wow.
Where do you want us to move to?
You got nothing now.
Probably. So,
What'd you say? Get it closer to you. Yeah.
what destroyed this part of the house? Clothes. What destroyed your home?
Eliza, are you here? You're putting up against yours.
I get a man, I don't get a woman.
It doesn't matter. It's just the word you try to pick up. I'm peeked out over here. As soon as she said she gets a man instead of a woman, it just peeked out.
Okay, so Charles, are you with us? Charles, can you step away from this device to make it go to green? Step away from the device. Oh, you don't want to step away. You want us to see that you're here. Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you have something to say? You have many devices. All right, make it stay to yellow. so that way we can ask you some yes or no questions. He does not want to step away. You gotta step away from it. Thank you. Charles, is that you? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Charles? Yes, I just got Charles.
I heard it on hers too.
Charles, make this device go once for yes, 2 for no. One, 2. That's too many. Charles, come on, man. Am I asking the wrong question? Do we have Charles Coatsworth Pinkney with us? 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1, 2. We're going back up to... Alright, I want to talk to Eliza again. Eliza, are you here? Online. That makes no sense. Eliza. She what? Yes, Eliza. Are you here with us? Because I'm going to move these folks on. Can you say goodnight to everybody, to Dana and Juan? Good night. Alright, I'm going to turn this off. You can probably turn your speaker off. We're going to walk probably, it's about 2.5, 3 blocks to get to our next alley.
Okay.
Please keep filming because we never know what we're going to catch.
Right.
Obviously, this is going to be irrelevant on the street, but that lighting up like a Christmas tree is amazing. Like, it usually has little hot spots, but the fact that we had so much of it here tonight is actually a really good thing. We actually got good words on here like educational.
They
They do like you.
They do like me.
So
We have
the
one
fact
at home.
that Charles too. Oh, you guys have one of
Pushes
those
me
too?
all the time.
I
you have
have
the
the
ghost
I
at
have the app.
Oh,
on the
okay.
phone, yeah.
No,
Like
I
an
said I've been
EMF
pushed
app,
at
or-
home.
What happened?
So you I've been pushed at home.
Which app are you talking about?
It's on the Play Store. I get the same reader, and I got the classic one where it comes out EMF, and then it'll work somewhat.
So I have one as well that I usually use as a backup,
Right.
just in case something goes wrong with it. And it'll actually tell me at the bottom, like the fact that she has such a hot spot right here, but mine actually drops.
Right.
It's weird.
And mine just goes. It depends, and then I don't know the electrical interference in the area either,
Right.
Because we have a lot of underground wiring as well, and that could be it. So I just have it for just the other in case I go to the like some of the places that we go to.
Yeah.
And just to have it to try it out.
You should also try this little trick too, because this is a manual tool. It is an actual compass, just a cheap one. But to actually see if it starts to spin or will not find the right direction, the EMF is pretty high as well.
Right.
Now, I was playing with it with a magnet, so let's see if it's actually doing anything. I mean, it looks like it's pretty steady. It is moving a little bit. I don't think I've ever even brought this out on a tour. I just keep it with me just in case.
I have a dog that refuses to come in one of my rooms.
Oh, that's awesome. that's the best detector ever.
Yeah. Is it up?
Yeah, see, like,
He's up here now.
all right, let's go to another alley. Have some fun.
Right.
So, with that grid box that I got today,
Right.
they sent me this little ghosty guy. I'm like, he's perfect for my bag.
There you go. There you go.
What's funny is that shop's in Florida.
Oh, is it?
Yep. It's called Ghost Stop.
Really?
I don't know where in Florida. I just know it's in Florida. It's one of the reasons why I purchased it from there. First off, it's their design
Right.
on the grid box.
Right.
But the fact that it was so close, it was only 2 days of shipping.
Right.
Oh,
I was like,
that's always nice.
yeah, I'll take it. Get the word giant.
But there's one thing that was real creepy that I saw on the Ghost Adventures when they went over to Doll Island,
Okay.
and it was in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I've never been, but I heard a lot about it from other people too.
Uh-huh.
And so then just from that, I was like, wow, I don't know if I'd stay there because I knew a girl that had a house with nothing but dolls, and that place was creepy.
Or they actually were over by the custom gate.
Oh,
I'm like that.
Yeah, but that's because of all the
Right.
electrical interference here.
yeah, you're gonna get all kinds of stuff here. People have to get excited on this road. Wonder when we're gonna open that back up again.
Yeah, that was so cool. It reminds me.
Watch on the side of you. Sorry, guys.
So much of New Orleans.
Is there a lot of vendors there today? Did you go through?
We caught it right at the end as they were packing up.
Wasn't very many at all.
Oh, that we saw.
Yeah.
And usually this time of year, you can imagine it's chances
Right.
craftsmen. I do get a ton of ratings from the customs house too, but I don't want to take people up 3,000 flights of stairs.
Right. It's a workout.
Yeah, it's a workout. I mean, I had a woman last night. She was her ankle.
Really?
Yeah, I shortened the tour up. I took out like one major spot, but just to kind of keep everything going.
And she got pushed.
She was a lot of fun. I have some people that are real jumpy.
Right.
So like when they hear anything out of the spirit box, they get all excited.
Yeah. Right.
So you guys just been kind of all over the place today?
Oh, yesterday and today.
How long are you staying?
We're leaving tomorrow night.
Usually I'm the last stop.
Oh, yeah, so which day you want to do it? Because I last night.
That's what everybody wants to do. Even if it rains. I try to reschedule them. It's hard to tell the northerners because I had to get used to it too. I'm originally from Ohio.
Oh, Michigan.
Oh, what part?
Right outside Detroit.
Okay. I've been to Detroit once and never went back.
I wouldn't either.
I'm from Youngstown.
Okay.
Yeah, see? Everybody knows Youngstown. It's from up north. But anyway, it's going to rain for 5 minutes or 5 days. Pick one. We got a 20% chance tonight. We're not going to see a drop.
We looked at that one and went, okay, let's call sea breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. That's what he's
We
doing.
knew.
Yeah, we were sitting outside, and he was right across from us. But I mean, he had some music going, so that was okay. But then he started with the preaching again, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna pay my tab. It's time to go.
Hours and hours.
Kids that are like vandalizing stuff, like that's underneath my skin. It's like these people own businesses down here and they have to shut down. They don't have any bother.
So now I have to go pick up my car.
This is the alley I took a picture of the other day.
Oh, is it? This is watch. So, well, you need to look for those pictures because you never know what you'll find out here.
That's how I got the orbs.
Wait, I'm going to do the huge claw.
Nice. Actually, they actually have some like scissor lifts and stuff like that down here. Past couple nights. It must be. So this is the lodge alley. This is where the Masons used to meet.
Right.
Okay.
one of the oldest streets in Charleston, and people actually used to live on this street.
Right.
So we're talking like lower class folks that used to live here.
Right.
In the 1700s. Next to us is the Lodge Valley Inn, which is a blue-green vacation timeshare kind of thing.
Right.
But of course, there are hauntings that are in there as well, some apparitions and things like that. It's not, it looks like they're on their break from the restaurant. This is I have a ton of stories here. I do have the list of people that used to live here. So if names come through, I thought we had one the other night, but it proved to be like Isabella just sounds like an old name. So it's like, I wonder if it was somebody here, and it wasn't.
Right. Right.
But we did get a Jan later on.
Right.
We did get a Jane that came through, or vice versa. So it was kind of like, all right, it was later on in the tour.
Right.
Kind of like, did we have somebody tag along? You never know.
Right.
This is kind of where I give you one of the psychic stories. So where else do you guys travel? Have you guys ever been anywhere else in South Carolina?
No, this is the only place I've been to in a long time. I rode up here for Myrtle Beach Bike Week
Okay.
years ago.
Yeah.
2006.
Probably when it was still safe.
Yeah, it was back then. I was with a group of bikers, so it was
Yeah.
real
They
safe.
weren't coming here then.
Well, now it's ridiculous. My daughter's up there, and my ex-wife works at a gas station, so it's kind of like I even kind of fear for her a little bit. Like,
How old is she?
my daughter? That one is 14.
Okay.
But my ex-wife keeps her at home.
Right.
She's home alone a lot, unfortunately.
Right.
But my eldest daughter, she's in the middle of the stage. She's 20.
Right.
She's staying with her boyfriend out there and trying to get her life get together and all that stuff. But anyway, enough about my family.
Yeah.
So one of the psychic stories, the reason why I asked, because there's a lot of places, and actually we'll tie one up with Florida a little bit of history. So the Yamasee War, you guys familiar with the Yamasee War?
It sounds familiar to me, but I'm not 100%.
So a lot of it dealt with St. Augustine.
Okay.
And then it moved up to Beaufort, South Carolina.
Okay.
Don't confuse it with Beaufort, North
Right.
Carolina. They're
Right.
spelled the same, but pronounced differently.
Right.
Yeah, and people do get offended. Oh, they're on the break. So there's a fort down there in Beaufort, and this wasn't one of my psychic stories, but it was one of the first investigations I did when I started getting gadgets, which is kind of interesting. So it's me, my daughter, my wife, and I have a support animal because I do have epilepsy. So I have a small wiener dog that follows me around whenever I'm not touring.
We got one.
We have two, actually. We just got
I used
another
to have
one.
other ones, but yeah.
So he is a piebald dapple. Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
He looks like a chocolate chip cookie dunked in milk.
Yep, I know exactly what it
And
is.
we've got puppies coming.
Do you?
Yes. They're not going to be ours. We actually breeded him. And that's how we got Emily. So I have Byron and Emily, my two poets. So Byron is literally like at my side at all times, and Emily we just registered for my wife because my wife is disabled. So at times when she's alone, and I have the word camera, so that means we need to pay attention to whatever we're finding here. But whenever like my wife has to go to the store or whatever, like she takes Emily with her just to kind of calm my wife has the muscle disease. Her legs are about that big, so we're braced to walk.
It's kind of like MS,
To
huh?
look at her.
Similar to MS?
A lot of people mistake it for that, yeah.
Okay.
It's good. It's very similar type of symptoms, but basically she has no nerves or muscles in her legs.
Wow.
Her knees down and her hand is up.
Wow.
She's the breadwinner, and she's the strongest woman I know, ever.
Wow.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And the other word, unusual. Yes, she's a very unusual woman to be putting up with me all the time. Agenda. That's funny. So anyway, we're down in Beaufort. We go check out this fort. It's Fort Fremont. And it was basically a useless fort. They built it, and it was never truly used as a fort. There were men stationed there, but it was never used. It was just meant to kind of protect the beaches down there. But unfortunately, nobody, got hurt or anything. But there's a ghost story down there about a headless guy with a lantern. So we went to go check it out. And then we went in, and there was nothing there. So we went to go check out the fort, and my window. So it's telling me to watch the windows. So kind of pan around and capture all the crazy windows. And the word ant. Like it's really spitting off some words here. But anyway, so we walk in and I start getting a little bit of a headache. I get what they call suicide headaches. For time, when I'm season, I know that I'm in at 2 o'clock every day. Like it's a very, and it's bad. Like you can't see, eyes watering. It's super bad. So I'm starting to get one of those. Byron's going crazy because he can sense my blood pressure changing. My daughter wants to go use this app. So I sent her and my wife off into the fort. So that way she can keep an eye on her. I was like, Byron's with me, I'm good. Just go. Let's get the data so I can have something to write about later. So
Right.
she goes and collects all the data. They get me back to the car. Literally have to hang on to both of them to get there. They got something to eat. Waited about about 20 minutes. The headache subsided. We're good to go. I get home. I start going through all the data. I get the words Rock Creek and Rain intermixed with like 40 other words, but those three really stood out to me. But I researched every one because this was new for me. I wanted to see how much this. So the words Rock Creek and Raid were in a letter to Colonel Montgomery from Harriet Tubman when she led a raid over a creek into Rock Creek and Raid. So it's into Rock City. So I have the exact, like, it's crazy the way this worked out. And I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. But again, who knows enough about Harriet Tubman? So I start diving into her. Because it's probably been 4th grade since I heard Harriet Tubman's name. We actually got a little bit of EMF.
Oh, it finally started.
But it looks steady. So I'm gonna debunk that as something nearby. But anyway, so it turns out that Harriet Tubman used to get migraines on the left side of her head, where I had mine, or where I still get mine, from a riot that she was in when she was a child and got hit in the head with a bottle. Some legends say a brick. But that's what gave her the prophetic visions to keep her motivated, to keep moving, gotta get out. So that's kind of how she used to get her visions, was through those headaches. So I kind of took that as I was being channeled
That makes sense.
by Harriet Tubman to actually keep moving on. But
Right.
anyway, it was just one of those weird things where when I said things can affect you, and I tell you we got to move on quickly to get me out. That was one of the places where I was just like, just go do it. I'll manage. I'll figure it out.
Right.
But it's a super cool story, and there's tons of my blog is just filled with haunted locations. So the Brentwood Restaurant. I've been to the Francis Marion Burial Site. I'm getting ready to write that one next week. It's not haunted, but it's a cool story. Obviously, I got all the locations that we're visiting tonight. They're all on there. And all the other investigations I did, like the Alice Flag thing in Myrtle Beach, which I'm sure you being in Myrtle Beach with the bike week, you've heard of Alice Flag.
You know what? I was that it was so many years ago. We just hit all the bike bars and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
They were there, and
Well, again, you'll have links tomorrow morning because I'm going to text Dana, and
Right.
that way you guys can check out all that different
Cool.
stuff. At the end of this alley is actually a residential area. We're a very small group, so I don't have to worry, but technically I'm not allowed to do touristy things in a residential.
right.
But so we'll just be 3 friends ghost hunting. It's funny when I have a group of 10, I'm like, we're 11 friends ghost hunting tonight, Pat.
Take it down.
It cracks up whenever she's on tour because she's just like, I can't believe you just whip out the gadgets and tools you need. I got the word apartment. Whenever you need them. She's like, you know exactly where everything's at without looking. I'm like, it's a flashlight.
Right.
I have to know where all my stuff is at. My
Right.
job. There's Wyatt again. I told you Wyatt showed
Yes.
up at the other parking lot a couple of nights ago. Interesting.
Hmm.
So I'm actually going to highlight that one. I got highlighted what Wyatt is.
No.
Did you get anything from those windows?
Nah, I looked all around.
Maybe
Temperatures
when I
are
get
the
it on the
same.
big screen, I'll have something.
Right.
So I'm also going to give you guys in the morning like a quick, analysis of what I see just as a whole.
Right.
And then of course when I analyze, we're going to make it right. When I go through everything, obviously I've been super busy this week with tours and festivals and all that. So when I have a chance to sit down and watch everything and listen to the full audio, I may have more for you. So and I'll text you if I have something crazy. I'm like, oh my god, how the hell did we miss this?
Right. Right. But that's the thing. You usually don't see anything. A lot of these.
Right. Until you go and do the research.
Right. Right.
Go through all the data.
Right.
Carlson is very quiet tonight. Normally I'm like,
No, I was surprised how quiet it was when we came in.
yeah.
It was like it was no traffic on the roads. It was crazy. Well, I'm not used to that at all.
Pretty tame is the word I'll use, except for, obviously when the protests are happening.
Right,
We're all-
right.
we're all wound up. We're gonna take a left here. I'll be honest with you, I love doing these small groups like this. Like this just makes it a little bit more personal for you guys.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed this.
We got lots more stories.
Oh, that's cool. Sure you do. You've been here what most of your life?
No?
No?
Ohio.
I'm from
But no-
Ohio.
Okay, so you grew up there and then you moved down here.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was a manager for Walmart,
Right.
and Walmart promoted me and moved me here,
Okay.
which my ex-wife was kind of pressing for. I
Right.
think a lot of that was dealing with the divorce laws here.
Right.
So once we broke everything off,
Mhm.
you know, I met April.
Right.
Happy life.
There you go.
You never know where you're going to meet them.
No, you don't. And the funny thing is that she's from Pittsburgh,
Oh, really?
so we were literally an hour
You're
and a
not
half
Pittsburgh,
apart.
you're Philly.
So we're gonna go down this alley.
Mhm.
I'd like to tell all this stuff up here first.
Right.
And usually that's kind of like a big hurrah for every other ghost tour. Did you guys book any other tours while
We
you're here?
just did a carriage ride. We like to investigate
Yeah.
everything on our own.
Yeah,
Right.
carriage ride stuff is cool. Like those
It
guys
gives
are
us an idea of everything,
Right.
and then we go, because we went right off of that right back to the jail. We did
Okay,
everything.
On our own, yeah.
So the jail, I've done that too, on my own, not the actual Bulldog tour.
Right.
No, there was no tour. We went on it.
Yeah, so if you go there thinking about it, just be careful because you're gonna get stuff like this. Like it's gonna give you a bunch of names
Right.
because they all want to tell you who they are. They
Right.
want to, you know, they're pleading their innocence.
Right.
The USS Yorktown is a great tour too. Like if you want to go venture on something on your own with
Right.
gadgets like this,
Yeah.
like just using your phones, that's a great place.
And
So,
okay.
the brick building. This would be my other place for a shop. Completely haunted. Used to be a place called Bachi's Restaurant. They sold it to the city in 2015 for about 2.4 million because it's completely haunted and they couldn't take it anymore.
Really?
Now remember, we're not going to be able to see inside the windows. If you
Right,
capture
right.
white circles, it's going to be on the outside.
Right.
Which is completely understandable.
Right.
Doors don't stay locked in here. Things like to move around. Furniture, glasses, mirrors fall off but don't break. Like there's all kinds of stories about Bachi's Restaurant.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell this story until we got the thermal camera, thinking, oh, we can just peek in the windows and see if there's shit moving around.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
can't do it now. Now
Right.
that I did my research and now I know thermal imaging doesn't go through windows.
Right.
It'll go through a trash bag, but it won't go through a glass window.
That's odd.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's just the way the spectrum works, I guess.
Right.
But again, it's next to Tommy Condon's, which also has ghost stories, but I don't know those.
Right.
We stay on this side of the street because all the yellow is residential. People live back there. Those
Back
are
in here?
apartments. Yep.
People live in there?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Sure do. They're probably paying the same amount of rent I do, 30 miles an hour.
Wow.
Weekend's coming. The carriage rides, the reason I love those guys so much is because they have like little tidbits of information. That's where I got like my little tips of,
Before we went on it.
you know,
Yeah, the one guy that we had, he was very knowledgeable.
A lot of stuff.
yeah.
He was doing it for 30 years, so
Yeah.
he had a lot of knowledge.
Now, I will tell you, there's a tour guide license
Mm-hmm.
that's a big debate right now.
Right.
The courts just appealed it to say you don't need a tour guide license to be a tour guide.
Right.
I'm unlicensed.
Right.
I have the book.
Right.
I've read it.
Right.
I can spout off all the stuff,
Right.
but dates and years and all that mess
Mm-hmm.
doesn't concern ghosts.
Right.
All I need to know is like I need to point out like that's the Powder magazine. It's the oldest building in Charleston on record. You know, I
Right.
know all the weird facts about Charleston.
Right.
Now that particular building, which is something I'd like to point out at least, we covered cancer twice. Either one of you ever suffered from cancer?
No. My family. My family history.
Just weird that we got it twice.
I have a friend of mine that's fighting it right now.
Just found out.
Just found out.
What kind of cancer?
Stomach.
That's the strangest thing. You don't hear that.
My aunt died from it, and so did my uncle.
Stomach?
Stomach cancer. My buddy and is really close to me, very close. He's in England. He's lost a lot of weight. He's terminal. He's inoperable. I don't know how much time he's got left, but yeah, he's really close to me, and he's fighting it right now. So, and he just found out.
I would hate to hear like you text me and say he passed away tonight,
No.
and he was coming through already to try to
Right.
communicate. I would hate to hear that. So
Yeah, no,
His
he's
phone would be blowing up.
my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, they would. Everybody over there would call me.
okay.
I got a ton of friends over there.
I didn't mean to like put a downer on the.
No. That's how we know it isn't happening.
Right.
All right. So the Powder magazine, again, oldest building on record. I will argue that the Pink House is actually older by 1 year, but there's no record of it. But there's a record of the Powder magazine that sits within the walls with what was Charlestown, which you guys probably heard about on the carriage tour. It sits further inland. We're 3 blocks away from the water, so
Right.
it's a little bit further to kind of protect it. 36-inch thick walls.
Right.
It's a groin vault ceiling. 8 pillars on the outside, 1 in the center, so they all meet in the center.
Right.
And the top is filled with sand from the early 1700s when it was
Right.
built. The only reason we know that is because they had to do a little bit of repair to the shingles on the top, and they realized that the sand was still sand.
Yeah.
It doesn't change, obviously.
Have you been to San Augustine and see the fort over there?
I haven't.
And that's made out of coquille shells, and it's tapered. So when the enemy ships would come in, they fired cannonballs. It would deflect the balls and wouldn't take full impact from that. So it would deflect, and the coquille shells are super strong, and you would see it, and it was like so thick. I forgot how thick those walls were, but unbelievable fortress.
If you guys were over in Marion Square, there's a piece of the Tabby Wall over there too that they saved. And Tabby Wall was basically what was protecting our right there on the edge of the water.
Right.
But you can actually, if you go to, it's further inland. It's in Somerville, actually near my home. They call it Colonial Dorchester.
Right.
The outline of the fort is still there, and it's made out of that shell type material, like shell mixed with like cement material.
Right.
To help barricade, and that's actually one of the places where Francis Marion was stationed.
Right.
So super cool place to visit, not haunted, but it's like right across the street from my house. So my daughter and I keep going back to see if we can capture anything. It's pretty close. But that's another place too where they claim it's haunted.
Right.
They say that the female pirate. Honestly, I'm not into pirates, so I forgot her name. Just being blunt with you.
Right.
I've never caught anything there. I have a season pass for that place.
Right.
There's so much in there to read, and I think I have every book out of there. But it's a really cool place. It's like $6 to go visit. So if you guys get the chance, take a walk through the Powder magazine and check Groupon. They usually have the best deals.
Right. Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff.
So, but again, not haunted. They actually used to do what we're doing tonight. I don't know if they had the same kind of devices or whatnot, but they used to do ghost hunts in the front lawn only for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
It's like, what are you guys gonna capture? Obviously, they don't do that anymore.
Right. Right.
And I'll be honest with you, like my competitors, like the one up there by the church, they don't like me very much.
Oh wow.
Because I'm taking business, first off.
Right,
Second off, I'm unlicensed.
Right.
You guys dropped $100 to take the test and get the book and study. And yeah, they probably know more facts than I do.
Right. Right.
But I don't need to know all the facts.
Right.
I actually keep learning more. Like we talked about Olivia Middleton Blake. That's like that came up.
Right.
I'm going to get more stuff out of this than I will out of a textbook.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah, and that's the thing about this. So you learn a new
That's
thing.
what we do. That's the wonderful thing about the internet and the phones now. Because they're like, oh, let me look that up, and we look it up and we talk to each other. We have a good time with that.
Yeah. My wife, she's like, I can't believe you remember all of the stuff that you do every night. Like when you repeat it every night.
Interesting.
So that's the alley we just passed back there. Did you guys see the doorway in the wall? Like the gate? The tree's probably in your way. You see
Okay, I see it.
You see the break in the wall back there?
Yeah.
So that alley back there, you probably heard, was called Dueler's Alley.
Yes. Yes,
Okay?
I did hear
So
that.
it's now Philadelphia Alley. But the cool thing about when it was Dueler's Alley, that's the gate that they used to take the loser through.
Really?
So the dead loser would go through that gate straight to his grave over here at St. Philip's.
Wow.
So
I
just
didn't know
another
that.
weird little fun fact.
See, I remember the carriage rider say that, but I didn't know about that part because he
Did he
didn't.
tell you guys the story of the doctor, the whistling doctor through there?
No.
Okay, so that's part of, like, I would tell you every other ghost story. That's their big finale. I'd tell you the story in about 3 minutes. It's a cool story, but to me, there's been hundreds, if not thousands, of duels that happen back there, and we only tell one story.
Right.
There's got to be more. So,
Right.
and it's really, I usually walk you guys through it because it's one of those places where we might actually hear the whistle of the doctor.
Right.
But up here, I'll wait for them to go because they're kind of checking out the graveyard. But I'll tell you the 3 stories that are the big ghost stories up here. They're all staring at a sign right now that says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. There's a reason for that.
Right.
So in 1888, a woman died of, she died 10 days after her stillborn child. Okay, so 1988, exactly 100 years later, this is where it becomes legend, of course, with the 100 years. We can go up now. Cool.
Yeah.
So, photographer comes to town, he starts taking pictures of our beautiful cemeteries here and captures a full apparition. We're talking 1988.
See, that's what I was telling you over there. Not to take multiple pictures at once. Yeah, because that's how I captured my ones.
So, You gotta remember, this was 1988.
Right,
We
right.
had no phone like craziness and the internet and all that stuff. So
Right.
he actually sent the photo over to Kodak.
Right.
They could not debunk the picture.
Really?
It was an apparition of a woman with a shawl and a baby basket next to her.
Right.
Now, I don't show the picture on the tour. Her name was Susan Howard Hardy. If you guys want to look it up on your own, by all means, but it said that any female that holds the picture, so like on your phone, will start to feel ill-will, dizzy, disoriented, those kind of things. But if a woman is pregnant and is holding the picture, her pregnancy will not go well.
Really?
So I don't curse my own tours. I'm very superstitious.
There you go.
So again, Susan Howard Hardy. If y'all want to look it up later, by all means, it's a really cool picture.
Okay.
The other stories that go here. Oh, first off, Calhoun is buried across the way. So we have that's the west side. This is the east side.
Okay.
So if he's buried on this side, you have to be a citizen of Charleston. So he was buried here initially. Then they found out he wasn't from here, so they moved him. He went back and forth a couple of times.
Oh,
He's in
wow.
a sarcophagus. Like, it's pretty large.
Right,
So they
right.
can just pick him up and move him wherever they want to. Wow.
Right.
That's actually where they proposed to move the Calhoun Memorial statue out of Marion Square. They wanted to bring it over here. Yeah. And I got the word live again. So weird. I got shared. Alright, so it's kind of weird geographical location, but right past the west side of the cemetery is the Pirate House. That's where Blackbeard's men used to come in. Blackbeard stayed on the ship to keep an eye on him. He never stepped foot on our soil. Don't let anybody say anything different. But the pirates would come in, they'd have a place to sleep, they'd have some women, and then there's a tunnel underneath from the Pirate House over to Doctor Theater. They go over and catch a show.
Right.
So, of course, secretly and illegally, but that's kind of where they went. Now, somebody actually, this is disembodied, which means
This is a voice.
voices. So we're not listening right now, unfortunately. So unless we get something on the camera audio or my audio,
Right.
because our spirit boxes aren't running right now.
Right.
But anyway, so Dock Street Theater is one block past that, and that kind of ties in with all three of us.
Right.
So first it was a theater, and then it was Planters Hotel, which had prostitution. It's kind of a brothel, and then we turned it back into Dock Street Theater that we know now. This used to be Dock Street. It's now Queen Street, or
Okay.
Church Street. It's
Okay.
Church Street because St. Philip's was the only building on the block that would not move inward to widen the road. So they just said, okay, we're going to name it Church Street. That way we know it's around the curve.
Okay.
Right, right, right.
So-
Makes sense.
Now, the word write, as in write a book. So, keep that in mind with the history of Dock Street Theater. There was a woman that used to work here at the church, Nettie Dickerson. She was past the marrying age of 17. Nobody wanted her. She was 23. So she's seen all the prostitution going on down there at Dock Street Theater, Planters Hotel, and she left the church, put on her best red dress, and went down to Planters to go get a job as a prostitute.
Right.
She was the best girl in the place. However, she still wasn't happy. So she used to go up on the second-story balcony and lean on a wrought iron banister and kind of ponder about coming back. Now, I've been through Dock Street Theater several times. You can actually see the church from there, that particular balcony.
Right.
So she wants to come back to the church because she's still not happy. And then the priest, he actually goes down to try to talk her into coming back. While they're out there talking, a storm rolls in, lightning strikes the wrought iron banister, and strikes her dead. Now,
Oh, wow.
her apparition was seen from the knees up. Nobody knew why. Somebody did the research. When we changed it from Planters Hotel back to Dock Street Theater, we raised the first floor ceiling. She's walking on the floor that she knows. And I just got the word strike from the lightning.
Right,
Ah.
right, right.
So, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So she's walking on the floor that she knows. The other ghost that's said to be seen there is Junius Booth, the father of John Wilkes Booth. He was an actor when Dock Street Theater was originally a theater.
Right.
And he was a traveling actor. He's not from here. He didn't die here. He's not buried here. They just say he shows up from time to time to carry a dress. I walk through it during the daytime. I get nothing out of any of my gadgets.
Right.
I have other beliefs. We're gonna walk this way.
Okay.
I got my own beliefs about it because there's wood in there from a Radcliffeboro mansion.
Right.
Charleston, whenever something tragic happens, like a fire in the hundreds that we've had, or an earthquake or anything, we just recycle and move stuff. Well, to me, and the things that I learned from the psychic that I used to work with, wood is of nature. It holds spirit activity.
Right.
So there was I don't know, I think it was a fire in the Radcliffeboro neighborhood, which was one neighborhood away from where we started, and this is unclear. That is unclear. But they took some of that wood and they put it in Dock Street Theater.
Right.
And I think that's what's actually haunting the place.
Right.
But these apparitions, I mean, it's obviously if somebody's seen an apparition.
I have a picture of an orb streaming across. I'll show you after the tour, which is pretty cool. And it just came on a photograph, and this was my ex that was taking a picture of her cat, and then she like yelled out a scream, and then I was like, "What's going on?" And she showed me, and you can see this orb running around her foot, and it's streaking around. Yeah, I got it. I That's
What
it.
if it was maybe an animal orb? If it's snaking on her foot, like maybe a cat. Like
And
how a
maybe another
would
cat.
run.
Oh, the other cat was there.
Yeah, there's 2 cats. She had 2 cats, but that one was she was just laying there. It was weird.
I actually did a whole blog post on orbs and the different colors of them and what they mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they are different colors. And you mostly see white. My brother has he has a real strong, I guess, a magnetism with paranormal. I rarely get that. I did see an orb when I was in England. That was another time, and I was with some other friends. But my brother had recorded 3 orbs of floating on top of his bed, and he left his camera on infrared. And he recorded it and he showed me. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And yeah, that was pretty intense.
We're gonna stay down this thing, but the story they should be done with theirs by then, and we'll walk the whole thing.
Okay.
So this used to be called Cow Alley, then Duelers. Now it's Philadelphia because when dueling became illegal, we had to change the name. So we named it after Philly, who rescued us from one of our many fires.
Right.
So the duel that happened here is the Whistling Doctor, so you can actually Google that, and it's the story that you'll hear. It's Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd.
Okay.
He had to move down here from the north. I can't remember which state, but he had to move because he was trying to marry his fiance, and her parents just died. And she inherited a bunch of money, and the lawyer said, no, doctor, you need to finish off your studies and go start your practice, and then we'll talk about you marrying Amanda. So her name was Amanda. The nerve, right? So anyway, so he comes down here, and the coachman drops him off to be brought here. The coachman set him up. Because he knew, hey, I got this doctor with me, so I got some money.
Right.
Passerby named Ralph Isaacs says, no, this isn't a good place to stay. So he takes him over to 59 Church Street, which does get some EMF activity whenever I'm up in that area. So super cool there. But anyway, that's about 1.5 miles from where we are now, so kind of keep that in mind. So the two become friends. However, the doctor finishes his studies, he starts his practice, he's a very happy guy, that's why he's a whistler. The town knew him as a whistler.
Right.
But Ralph Isaacs kind of stays in his normal, everyday Charlestonian middle class. But the two still have the same taste. They're still friends. They go to see plays together, but they have to walk home and talk about the play because they're not sitting in the same seats.
Right.
Just different hierarchy back then.
Right.
So anyway, they're walking home one night after watching Richard III. There was a new actress in town that the doctor liked, but Ralph didn't. It turned into an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home. So the two get pissed off at each other. They go their separate ways. Ralph Isaacs writes something in the Charleston newspaper about what a disgrace the doctor is. So the doctor rebuttals with, we're going to finish this in Miller's Alley. So they come down here, back to back, take their 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots it in the air. He doesn't want to kill his friend. He just wants to make a point. Being an ass. So, however, Ralph Isaacs takes 2 shots below the knees. He doesn't kill him, but he proved his point. He pissed me off.
Right.
Whatever about this actress.
Right.
So his friends pick him up and they carry him, instead of through the gate, down to 59 Church Street, 1.5 miles away from here.
Right.
And he died 10 days later.
Wow.
They said you can hear his whistles as you walk through here, and or the gunshots.
Right.
Now, the cool thing about this alley, other than the little, what I call the death gate, so the loser would go through the gate, your bricks are going to get older as we go through. These were replaced back in the 80s as they did some repairs, but as we get going to the very end, those are originals. Well, not original, but you get the point.
Right.
So those bricks were turned by slave children, sun-dried. So to dry those bricks, they didn't have ovens. They had to literally sun-dry them. So every hour, they had to turn it, flip it. You could still see their fingerprints and handprints in them.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you that this is residential at the end. There is a house at the end. And the owner came out one day when I was actually looking for him so I can add it to the tour. And he's just like, you know those handprints and fingerprints are fake, right? I'm like, they're right there. You can't miss them. There's one full handprint, and you can see how small it is.
Right.
We will have to kind of walk quickly when we get to the end because it's residential.
Right.
But I will point it out. So if you want to kind of wave your... I've only had EMF detection one time. But again, who wants to go where they weren't happy?
Right.
So we were actually pretty surprised when we actually had EMF detection there one night.
Right.
It's up to you if you want to do it. I'm actually going to sneak around the corner so you guys can kind of check it out.
Yeah.
That way we're not getting in any touristy type of trouble.
Okay.
Right.
So, but again, this is where you're going to turn your audio up. And this is where you're really going to be listening to those whistles. I did hear a whistle once here, but I debunked it as some birds nearby. I didn't have my audio on, but you just never know.
Very little happens.
So,
Yeah, it's right here.
this This is a great picture spot too. This is probably the most peaceful place in Charleston. It is absolutely gorgeous.
You know, we took a lot of pictures from a lot of the streets. Yeah.
When it's empty like this, like it's a stunning picture. It really is.
Yeah, that looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I get words like PhD, medicine.
Okay.
Talking about the doctor.
Right. There's
Pretty quiet. I'll be honest. Like the past couple weeks, like that would have been back in January, February, when I was, before COVID.
Right.
Before the gag. And here's that gate that they would go through. They would start in the center, take their 20 paces, and
Right.
then the loser would just come through.
Right.
Secret that I've been working on too. So I wonder if that has anything to do with that. You will get some EMF towards the steps down here because that's the Footlight Players Club. That's the actor studio for the Dock Street Theater. So like all of your equipment's in there and all that, so it kind of gives off the hype of that. I don't want people to get excited. I'm like, let's debunk that real quick.
Right.
There's actually a really cool plaque down here too. It talks about when it became Philadelphia Alley. So where were you guys going after this?
Oh, we didn't have any plans, really.
Well, most people, like, they'll drive, so they park up near where we were. We tried to make this a circle.
Right.
Impossible.
We walked all over the place.
But we're going to end up on East Bay Street. And you guys are more than welcome to part of the Uber. I mean, I'm fine. It's like literally like 4 blocks away.
Yeah. We walked all over the place.
But after here, this is the house that's coming up. We got one more building, and then we'll be on East Bay Street. We'll see what we capture out of that building. And
Right.
start calling it out. Is this what you guys thought it was going to be, or hoped what it was going to be?
Oh,
The information we like.
right. I like the fact that it's very personal. That's one of the things I really like about this.
So we're starting to see some fingerprints here. Here. Full handprint is right there. And these are actually in 3 different places around Charleston. We have them here, Drayton Hall, and Boone Hall. And you can actually look those up through the Post and Courier, our newspaper, and there's articles all over about it. Look at the word bad.
What is it?
Bad?
Bag?
Bad.
Say again.
Bad.
Oh, bad? That's not good.
Yeah. Somebody doesn't want me showing that off.
Hey, Dana. No, I just don't like the fact of bad.
So you should see this area around Christmas time.
Oh, yeah?
It's stunning. These people all decorate their seats, and it's lights everywhere. It's gorgeous.
It'd be a nice time to come up. How cold does it get here?
Honestly, like I've seen it snow here.
I've seen it snow in Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, since I've been in South Carolina, I think I've seen it snow twice.
Okay.
It was actually the first time was my first year here. It was wonderful. I escaped snow out of Ohio.
You don't have to shovel it.
Well, the whole town shuts down.
Here?
Yeah. I mean, everything shuts down. We get So, just so y'all know, city ordinance right now says we have to keep our groups to 10. You see more than 10 people.
Yeah,
in there?
we've been seeing a lot of that. Nobody's following anything
Right,
anymore.
right.
I'll be honest with you. I'm keeping my tours at 10 because I'm going after quality, not quantity.
Right.
And I only have so many gadgets.
Right.
So
Yeah.
to have people double up on gadgets is the worst.
Right,
Right
yeah.
now, I think I'm up to 8 gadgets. So even if I get 10 people,
Right,
it's still
right.
a lot.
Yeah.
You start losing them if you get too many.
It's just too much. Yeah, I guess.
Well,
it's
even
like-
10 people, I still have to bounce around. You gotta make sure everybody's using their gadgets properly.
Right.
What are you getting out of yours? What do you see out of it? What do you think you heard?
Right.
You know, all of those kind of things.
Right.
So, let's get out of there.
I could never do that. When I had a membership
So
at
we're
LA
actually in
Fitness, I
like the
would
art
go
gallery
to
area.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you could tell. A couple nights ago, I actually had the word gallery come up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the building I point the brick building, this used to be part of our cotton industry. Okay, that's the Wagner building. Us stupid Americans, we would probably call it the Wagner building, but it's a Wagner. Yeah, with an extra E, Wagner. So, how to explain how this goes? So the back of it would have been the warehouse and where the cotton was stored and all of that stuff. And then the front was all offices. It's being turned into a wedding reception venue now, so that it's going to be 3 floors of wedding reception area and possibly a 4th on the roof.
Right.
So it's going to be like, and it's facing the water, so it's going to be like a 20-star, type restaurant catering, that kind of thing.
Right,
These
right.
are condos in the back.
Right.
And they actually use where the horse and buggies would come in as garages now, so they're still using it for the same purpose. However, the last person that had it as a cotton industry was George Pereira. He actually inherited it from his dad. He had no idea what he was doing. He was a silver spoon kid, didn't know anything about business. He got himself into a bunch of debt. He was very depressed. And we also had the boll weevil in town, which is a bug that eats cotton. So I've had the word insects itching, and that's where I actually started learning about the boll weevil. See how this tour teaches me stuff? But anyway, so he goes behind the American government. They don't want his bad crop, so he sells it off to the British at a cheap price. And he's in his office in the 2nd-story window facing the ship that comes in to come and gather all this cotton. They unload it from the back and they load it up. That's Pineapple Park, straight ahead.
Right.
So it obviously wasn't there. It was another wharf.
Right.
So he's watching. One of the ship crewmen actually gets too close with a pipe, and all the cotton goes up in flames.
Oh wow.
The whole ship goes down.
Oh wow.
And George is watching everything from the front. He's already depressed. He sold his father's legacy. He's got to give up. He's still not out of debt. And he watches the ship go up in flames. He decides he's going to pile up all the furniture and he's going to hang himself. So we have the shadow of a swinging corpse that can be seen from the 2nd or 3rd story, depending on which story you read online. But I like to go up there and kind of gauge the windows. I've had full conversations out of my spirit box. Your EMF is pretty much useless up there because it's on East Bay Street. So the spirit box might be good to listen to for a few minutes, see if we actually capture anything. This is a hit or miss location, but it's such a great story because it tells a piece of our cotton crops that we had.
Right.
Now, he was there for so long that it was the newsboy kid that found him the next day. And it is said that one of the windows was cracked and some crows got in and started pecking at him. So it was pretty a horrible sight for this little kid selling papes on a corner.
Right.
But it's the shadow of the swinging corpse out of the Wagner building. Now the venue is right across the street, so if you guys like to go to a bar, you go to the rooftops, you get some great pictures up there.
Oh yeah.
It's a beautiful spot, day or night.
Right.
So,
Right here?
yeah, right. Like this building goes all the way down to East Bay Street.
Okay.
It's pretty long. So
Okay,
we're
cool.
actually going to cross over twice legally, and because obviously the police will stop me and say, "What are you doing?" Like I said, I've been getting. You guys heard of Coogan's Porch? Did you guys do any ghost research at all?
Very little.
Okay, so right up the street here, about 2 blocks, we have a restaurant called Coogan's Porch. Now, it's haunted by 2 things. One, a person, which was the owner. Her name was Zoe, spelled Z-O-E.
Right.
And that was another realization because we had her name pop up one night when I'm walking the Wagner building. And I'm like, why is it spelled that way? I looked it up. That was the way she spelled her name. There's no Y.
Right.
And Poogan was the dog. The dog also haunts the place. He will pull at your leg and that kind of thing. You can feel like the kids feel like they felt something brush up against them. Like he was a pretty fluffy little guy.
Yeah.
But Zoe fell down a flight of stairs in the restaurant. There's a hotel across the street from it, and they say that they can hear things or see things in the windows at night.
Right.
And Zoe will show herself in the mirror in the ladies' room. So
Oh, wow.
I took my wife and daughter after we actually went to go see a play at Doxbury Theater. It's gorgeous in there, even for plays.
Right.
We went there after lunch, and I opened up this app and just set it on a table. And the waitress said, "You trying to catch ghosts? Trying to catch Zoe?" I'm like, "You know I am." And and it's just weird. She's been coming through more and more.
Right.
But like they're also expanding their whole Pugin empire. Like they have Pugin's courtyard now, and then there's another Pugin something else.
Right.
You're at the word credit.
Credit?
Yeah, credit. I'm actually going to turn this up so you can actually get anything out of it.
Turn yours on, Dana.
So listening to like the name George, cotton, trade, any of those kind of terms are going to be relevant. Had fire and ship on the same night. Yeah. Depends on the night. It's a hit or miss.
Right.
There you go. Come on, George. Talk to us.
Nothing, Dana? Oh, you.
So this is the second, third story. The name Jack. I get names here too, so it might have been men that may have worked back in the warehouse.
Right.
Of course, I don't have that list to verify, but I do get names up here too.
Okay, so it's here.
Great.
Yes.
Something coming through.
Yeah.
Greatest. I'm wondering if the word bad and the word credit is what's tying into this. Because he did get himself into a bunch of debt.
Right.
George or Zoe?
Anything?
So you're gonna get EMFs all over.
Yeah, here, yeah.
Come on, Zoe. She gave me the word porch one night. The name of the restaurant is Pugin's Porch.
Okay.
Stairs.
Right.
Like she just kept giving us stuff.
Right.
Letting us know she was with us.
Right.
But that's the bar I was talking about. I mean, it's directly across the street.
Okay.
There's a rooftop bar.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
And again, that's where I got all my pictures for the blog.
Okay.
I just walked up there one morning. I'm like, do you guys mind if I take some pictures up there?
Right.
They don't care.
Very cool.
Zoe, you gonna give us anything?
You have anything? Nothing?
Wife.
Wife. I don't know that George was married. I don't think he was.
Yeah.
So if you can, try to get me some temperatures on the second and third story windows without falling into the street. Just so I can get a base readout of what I'm
Right.
looking at up there. guys. Give me one more word. You guys aren't really proving much to me here. Chills. We just got this breeze that just came in.
Right.
George? George, what do you want to tell us? You're lying. You're mistaken. Can't make it out. There's no idea up here. It gets a little distracting. Did he say my name at least? Operations. I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
I don't see much coming out of here. Again, this location is like, it's a great story, hit or miss, you never know.
Right.
So go ahead and stop your video. Just hit that red button for me. Start gather up all these gadgets from you.